Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Wazak, and for much of my career, I've had the honor of working with people who were students at colleges in the City University of New York. And now I'm excited to share these stories with you, except I'm not going to tell them, they're going to tell them because the students have become the teachers. So today, I have someone that I actually met through BMCC, but I didn't work at BMCC yet officially. And we met at a leadership retreat. And thankfully, once I started working at BMCC, I was able to learn a lot more about this person, and we formed a great relationship. So I'm very happy to have here Keenan Charles. Thanks for being here. Yes, I was thinking back. I'm like, wait, I met you before I worked at BMCC.
Yeah, we've definitely had that moment. I remember it too. I was like, why does that name sound familiar? When I was like, why does that? And then we saw each other, and I was like, it's you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know you, but if you could please, if you could share, where did you go to college, and what did you study? What degree did you get?
So I studied at BMCC. I obtained my, oh my goodness, my brain just shut down. I obtained my associates, and I studied theater. And I graduated in 2018. I'm currently getting my bachelor's right now. So almost done, almost semester.
So when you were at BMCC, were you involved in anything on campus?
Yeah, is the term. I started a club. It's called the Improv Club. I think. Oh no, I'm not wearing a shirt right now. I'm always wearing that shirt. But I started off the top Improv Club. I was a student leader. I was in Real Balt, which are leadership programs. I was a mentor. I was in student government for two governments. Um, and I was very involved in the theater program. I was in a few shows, did a lot of backstage work, and yeah, spoke at a few events.
Yeah. So when you say you were a student leader, what leadership roles did you step into? Any organizational leadership positions, anything like that?
Yeah. So when I was a club leader, I was the president and the founder, one of the founders, because if I say founder, the other founder is going to get mad at me. But one of the founders um, of Off the Top Improv Club. I was the um, I was a senator for Student Government Association, and then I was a chairperson for House of Clubs activities and public relations. So that was yeah. So I like the step I took. I was a club leader, then I became the leader of the clubs in a way. Um, yeah, so they all came to me, and I was like, now I know how it feels to have all these questions at one time. It was crazy.
Yes. So what is one thing you learned from being involved on campus that you still use today?
Whew. I learned you have to be thorough with certain things. You can't, um, and it's hard to be thorough when you do so many things at one time. Like, for example, when I was in BMCC, there was a time where I was a I was a student government association senator. I had two jobs. Um, I was a student and I was in a show. And I noticed that I was spreading myself too thin. And I have an analogy that's like when you make like a sandwich and you put peanut butter on it, you can't have that really like skimpy, like like thing. You got to have a good like layer of it on there. And I shouldn't be calling it a layer because it's peanut butter, but um, you have to evenly give yourself to everything that you're doing. And if you can't do that, you have to eliminate those things. So you're not giving 20% of Keenan here, 20% of Keenan here, 10% of Keenan there, 4% of Keenan here. And I feel like you have to give an even amount of your energy to yourself and to all these different things. So being thorough.
So being thorough. So was there anything you did that helped you because you were involved in so many things? And I know that there are current club leaders who will be watching this. Was there anything that you did that helped you to deal with so many things and to be thorough, like you said?
I feel that I had to notice when I needed help, acknowledge that I needed help, and then get the help. So great thing about BMCC, there's so many people who are going to give you help. There's people screaming out their offices like, let me help you, but they won't walk up to you. You have to walk up to them. And I've noticed that I would sit there and I wouldn't want to bother my cabinet members. And I'm like, oh, they have stuff to do. Let me do all the secretary's work. Let me do the VP's work. Let me do all of this. I got it. I can handle it. And then I noticed that I'm frying myself out, that I have nothing left to give, even to myself. And I then learned, I was like, you know what? I need help. I was like, there's something wrong, and I think I need help. And that's how I'm going to figure it out. That's how I kind of figured it out, is acknowledge that you need help.
So since you have that experience and, you learn things and you learned about yourself, you learned about other people, do you think you have three, if I ask you for three helpful tips that you would provide to students who are currently student leaders, whether it be at BMCC or anywhere around the world?
Three helpful tips is acknowledge that you are the leader, but not an overlord. There's a difference. A leader is somebody that can say, hey team, let's try it this way. A real leader, or let me not say a bad leader, because it works in certain cases, but a leader, and things that I've noticed that's a little ineffective, is saying, we're doing it this way, and that's the only way that it can be done. And that's another word, being a porous leader, right? So the word porous means to, and you know this, but the word porous means that it can intake liquid. It can intake something. Humans are porous. We have pores. So we intake oil, we intake dirt, we intake feelings, we intake energy and stuff like that. A leader should be somebody that is porous. Meaning, if one of your teammates say, okay, can we try it this way because I noticed that this might work. And I'm like, you know what? Let's try it that way. But a leader also knows when you're porous, you know when you're saturated, meaning that you're full. So you're like, okay, I took so many different opinions. I have to make a decision. Let me do that, and then we will move on. So that's number one, be a porous leader. That's a good, that's a good analogy I just brought up. Wow.
That was very good. I was sitting here like, yes.
Yeah, good on me, good on me. Second is to understand that you have needs too. That you have to, one, be able to take care of yourself in order to take care of other people. So you can't be somebody that's pouring out so much, and then you notice that your bucket is now empty. So you can't pour from an empty bucket. Super important. So one, be a porous leader. Two, take care of yourself. And three, you would think I had three like ready to go. Three would be, make sure you enjoy what you do. Make sure you enjoy being a leader of what that is. For example, a manager at a store is a manager at a store is someone who has to take care of everything, right? And there'd be times where a manager cannot stand their job. They hate their job. They can't stand it. They don't want to be there. And that now becomes a problem because their team get the butt end of it. They get the butt end of a manager not liking their job. So if you don't like what you're doing and you don't like what you're leading, you should not be leading it. And that's like a hard lesson that I had to learn. I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I don't enjoy this. This is taking too much of me, and I'm not giving enough to you. I'm doing you a disservice by being somewhere I don't want to be.
And Keenan, that's different than having a bad day here and there. Like you have a day where you're like, yeah, I don't really like this. You're talking about
Yeah.
something different, right?
Yeah. Meaning everybody's entitled to bad days. Everybody's entitled to having a hiccup, having a day where it just didn't start out well. I feel that being somebody who just does not enjoy it, I have this bad habit, right? Where if I go into a store and I get a employee who does not like their job, and you can smell it on them from the door, you're just like, you don't want to be here. And they have a nasty attitude. I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't have come to work that day. Granted, money is a thing. You should not have come to work that day. I think that we need to have mental days in like the work environment. Like, you know what? I'm not going to be of any help to anybody today. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to stay home because I'm going to be very nasty. I'm going to be rude, and I'm not going to be helpful. So and today I can't swallow that down. It's at the top of my cup. I can't swallow it down today. So I feel like you need to go home. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't said that to employees yet, but it's coming.
So talking about all of this, another question I have for you is about leadership in the year 2020, because this is a different kind of year. So
Yeah.
what traits do you think are important for leaders to have in 2020?
Gosh, one thing that keeps running in my brain about this question is versatility. And did I say that word right? I think I did. Okay. Yeah, it's versatility, right? I feel that 2020 does this thing where we all were standing like this. We all were like, we're so ready, let's do it. And now we're all like disheveled. We're all like, oh my gosh, like what do we do? What's going on? And stuff like that. And I feel like the reason why we were so knocked off of like our track was because we weren't ready for abrupt change. And I am a firm advocate when it comes to abrupt change. And I feel like businesses weren't ready, right? Businesses didn't know that there was going to be a pandemic that was going to kick everybody out of their store. People who spend a little bit more money didn't know that all of their money was going to be sucked away because they lost their job. And when it comes to being a leader, I feel that you have to be ready for anything. And I'm not saying you have to have the answers for anything, but you have to be ready for anything. For example, with my theater company, right? We had a show set up for this year, and we were ready to do it. We had promo out. The show was about to go up in a week. I think it was the week of, and we get a call, an email saying, hey, from the theater saying, hey, all shows for the season are canceled. You still have a slot, but we're going to put you in another place and stuff like that. And we were devastated. We were upset. We were angry. The actors put in so much work. The director, my colleague, he put in so much work. He was upset. And we were just like, we didn't have a backup plan. But at the same time, we didn't know we needed a backup plan. And we're recalibrating. And I feel like you have to be able to recalibrate. Be ready for change. Be ready for abrupt change. Another one is to understand that other people's circumstances are not yours. Like,
Yes.
for example, in school, right? Professors feel that if they have good connection, you have to have good connection. Or you have that since they have a laptop, you have to have a laptop. Or if one student has a book, you have to have the book. And they don't understand that. professors don't understand that everybody's like way of doing things are totally different now. Even like employers, totally different now. And the way people function, like when we started like at home, like living basically, I had a horrible time adjusting. I am a type of person who I unwind on the train. Home is a place of sanctuary. I don't do any work at home. I sit down, I sit in the dark, I turn everything off, and I just stay at home, right? And now home became my office, home became my classroom, home became my Friday night outing, home became my birthday parties, home became everything in one thing. So I feel that, and I didn't adjust to that, but I have friends who were like, this is it. Home, I don't gotta leave. I don't have to go outside. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. And I was like, how are you doing this? How are you adjusting so well? Like, how do you like that? How do you do that? And then I had to learn that people have different ways of just dealing with things. So that's another task for another trait that a leader should have. And that's basically basically making sure that how do I get everybody on the same page in the way that they will get there. Like some people mentally, you have to take a train, you have to take a bus, you can just walk. Some people have to take different routes of getting to the same understanding. And lastly, number 3, it is to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. Mentally, you have to learn how to say no. And the art of saying no is something that is like, ooh, I think there's a book on that. The art of saying no. And that's something that I feel is so, so, so important. And I struggle with that. I'm a yes man. I'm 100% yes man. But I'm learning now, I'm just like, yeah, I can't do that today. Today, I don't have it in me. I really don't. And I had to learn those things.
So going back to the second point, was there anything that you did that helped you to adjust to one space being used as it became a multi-purpose space, because there are people that experienced and are experiencing what you described. So is there anything that helped you to adjust to it?
I had to designate. I'm still not adjusted. I'm not going to act like I am. I still am not, because my work ethic dropped dropped like ridiculously low, and I'm still trying to find that again. I'm still getting my bearings, and I also think that some things that worked was designate times, designate places in your house, right? Going on the time thing. In the morning, I have to be up in the morning, and I have to act if I'm going out. Go take your shower, go make yourself breakfast, and then if you really don't have anything to do for the day, go back to sleep. But if you have something to do for the day, do it. Or go take a walk. Like actually, you have to open your blinds, turn your lights on. Like I am a person who loves sitting in the dark. So I did all of my homework in the dark with only my laptop screen. And I noticed how I wasn't getting any work done. And I'm just like, I'm in the environment of sleep. But that's because I thought home was sleep. So what I would have to do, I would have to get up and I had to do my homework in the kitchen. I had to do, and like, it's weird sitting in the kitchen in the dark. So you can't do that. I had to make sure my room was a leisure place. That's the only time I go into my room is when I'm on a break. Right? When I don't, because I know if I go into my room for more than 10 minutes, a nap is going to attack me, and then I'm going to wake up 6 hours later. Yeah, those quarantine naps are different. They're dangerous. They're dangerous.
See, I've never been a napper, so when people talk about naps, I'm like, oh, that sounds. I mean, you're saying it's dangerous, so maybe it's a good thing that I don't nap. But Yeah, I don't know about
No,
quarantine naps.
all of my naps are accidental. None of all of my naps happen to me. I never happen to a nap. They always happen to me.
So, well, yeah, I don't. The only time I feel like I get a nap is like if I'm not feeling well. Then all of a sudden, like I get into a comfy spot on the couch, and then it's
Yeah.
like, wait,
Oh yeah.
what happened?
When you're not feeling well, this is the remedy of fixing all like not feeling well. You got to get some ginger ale, you got to get some Martin, and then a couch and a cover, and that's it. That's all you got to do.
That's it. Listen, so you
Yeah.
talked about well, you talked about a lot of things that are helpful and personal, so I appreciate that. But you did talk about a theater company. So I think that we should learn a little bit more about some other things that you've been getting involved with. How's that sound?
Ooh, yes, I do. So, I am one of the founders of Black Petal Theatre Group. We are a um, three-man group. We started in 2016, and we are a Black theater company. We base shows on things that you don't see too much. So, for example, you don't see a lot of Black people going to space in plays or in shows or in TV, on TV. You don't see Black people as lawyers. You don't see Black people um, as functional families. You don't see dads at home. We want to break that stereotype. We want to break that because we're more than just a struggle. So we create shows to uplift us. We have shows about ghosts being in the house. We have shows about people being possessed. We have shows about um, dysfunctional families that look like they're functional and stuff like that. And we just want to change the narrative um, when it comes to African American bodies in uh, film and TV and theater and stuff like that, mainly theater. So we do have a Facebook group. That's not like our primary page. So if you want to be really up to date with us, you want to get onto our Instagram, our Black Petal Theater Instagram page. We update that pretty often. You get to see some of our previous shows. You get to see some of our upcoming things. We may be working on some Zoom stuff because that's the world that we're in right now. Um, but yeah, another page that I think is super important is Red Thoughts, right? So I am the creator of this page, and it's the Red Thought Inspirational page. And that's basically thoughts that go through our head that we don't notice are super important. Um, one of them was, I'll give you a cool one. Come on, brain, pull one up. I'll pull one up on my phone. I'll do it very fast. I'll pull a good one up on my phone if I can find the Instagram app. I will pull a nice one up. And oh, come on, move with me, move with me. Okay, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. Oh, I have a good one. People are allowed to leave you, not like you back, break up with you, not want to talk with you, move on from you, put their happiness before yours, not want you in their life, and do what they want to become better versions of themselves. Try not to be bitter with someone for just trying to be happy. That was one of the red thoughts of the day, right? And there's a way more things. There's things that pull on our heartstrings. There's things that make us laugh. There's things that make us think. There's things that make us reevaluate. Like, wait a minute, am I that person? Wait a minute, uh-oh. And make us kind of have those aha moments. And yeah, so follow those pages. Make sure I'll be waiting. I'll be watching.
I agree. Follow those pages. Thanks for sharing that information. While you were speaking earlier, I think it was about the tips for club leaders. It reminded me that you also have spoken at a few conferences that I've attended. And I had remembered one, so we were talking about this earlier too. And then we talked about the second one. So I wanted to bring that up too, because you shared a lot in this short amount of time. And I've seen you share in this, in a keynote, as a keynote speaker for conferences, your experiences, your knowledge, tips, your personality. And so if there are students or if there are higher ed staff who are watching this, I'm promoting you because, yeah.
It's fun. I apparently I have good insight, so believe what other people are saying.
Yeah. So that's, and it's great to see that too. When you've been in the field for a little while, like me, and you see certain things happening like that, where you were a student and then I'm at a conference. I'm facilitating a workshop at a conference where you are the keynote speaker, and that's happened twice already. And it's just like, like I'm in the back and like.
Like, to speak on that really quickly, I'm only 23. I look 94, but I'm only 23. And I sit with myself and I get so angry with myself sometimes. And I'm like, Keenan, you're not doing enough. You're not doing like what's going on. You're not like where you want to be. You're not the best version of yourself. And I sit down and I go, but that's not true. I just have to quickly say, but that's not true. You've done so much in 23 years of your life. And you're only 23 and you got a lot more to go. So, and I learned that it's okay to sit back and go and take a break. It's okay to not do something. It's okay to be lazy, for lack of a better term right now. It's okay to give yourself that break. It's okay to have lulls. And I'm learning that. And I'm learning that, like, I did a pretty good amount. So it's okay to have like a little dark period, a firm believer of not looking back and not looking forward and staying where you are. But I think that it's important to know where you've been, know where you came from, and understand that you've been from there, and you did it, and you did so much, and you're possibly can do it again.
See, even more,
Yeah.
even more.
Yeah,
Wisdom. Yes. You're 23 years. Yeah, definitely a lot of wisdom, and I appreciate that you share it. You share it with me, and then through this, you'll be sharing it with anyone who watches it, and you just, I'm glad that you do that, and yeah, you're definitely someone that I'm amazed that. By everything you do, like as I learn more about you, I'm like, really? Wow, like that's great. Not a surprise. It's more like there are people who are younger than me and they have this path and they go on it. And,
Yeah.
I like that that you shared, we all have those moments, but I like that you also like patted yourself on the back and recognized that you have accomplished so much. Not everybody does that.
That wasn't easy though. That's not something that's easy because I'm an extrovert, an extroverted extrovert. So I can easily take over a room when I walk in and I'm learning those things about myself. So I used to do this thing where I would make myself smaller because I felt like I was too big for the room. And I learned that this year that I am no longer going to clip my own wings. I'm not going to do so. And I feel that we have to understand that we have to change our narrative and change how we use certain vocabulary. When people say like lessen, like the hardest thing I can do in my life is be less, is do less. I just can't. And I feel that I need to not identify it as doing less. I need to identify it as shifting my energy over here, where another person who's trying to get their message across can get to the front of the room. I'm not any less, I'm not any smaller. I'm just in a different part of the room right now. And this person is where they need to be.
That's a great sign of leadership. Yeah.
And shout out really quickly, shout out to Christina. Because just shout out. I'm not even gonna go in. I'm not even gonna go into it. I'm just gonna be like, shout out. That's all I'm saying. That's all I don't even need to go into it because everybody knows. So it's not even a secret. I'm just gonna let you do your thing.
Thank you.
Just shout. Thank you.
So thank you for that, and thank you for being here. And I'm going to be sharing the social media that you talked about, and when I share the post for this video. And I really enjoyed this. I enjoy them all, but it's like every single one is unique because each of you are, you're special in your own way. So I get different answers and different personalities every time, and so I'm really glad that you agreed to do this because it was great. It was great wisdom, great, and you definitely have the experience and the knowledge to answer the questions the way you did.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's different philosophies of different leaders and stuff. There's like, I won't get into that because that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I think, we did it.
We did. So yes, thank you. And and so whoever's watching, this is just one of the many amazing people that I have been able to meet and work with at some point in my career. So there's another one coming up next time, next video. So hope I catch you then. And until then, I've been saying lately, like, have a great night, have a great morning, be great. So I'm gonna stick with that. Be great, whatever you define that as. Just do it.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's going on the red page. Oh, I gotta write that on my
notes. It by mistake because I'm recording this right now and it's the night. So I said, have a great night. And I'm like, wait, but you might read it. I mean, you might watch this at like 7 a.m. So have a great morning. So just have, like I said, have a great night, have a great morning, great afternoon, whatever you do, just be great. And I'll catch you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.